Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for part 5 of the Monday Q&A, the final part. We are coming to the end, and this one's going to be all about training programs and specifics on that. So let's do it. I am currently doing your 5x5 novice program. I trained yesterday at P. I'm going to train tomorrow, but I don't know whether to train at 9 a.m. Is this okay? You said it takes muscles 48 hours to recover, and this is 44 hours after my last workout. Should I train later? Should it be okay to train at 9? No, I didn't say it takes muscles 48 hours to recover. I said I want these routines usually at least 48 hours apart. Now, what I would say here, 44 may be close enough. What I would base it upon is, okay, it's 44 hours instead of the 48. That's pretty close. Do you feel okay? Do you feel up to training? Do you feel recovered? And if so, then yeah, go ahead and do the session that morning 4 hours earlier than you did the other one the 2 days before. Sure, it's 44 hours, but you'll probably be okay as long as you feel recovered. If you don't feel recovered enough that you're going to come in and hit new lifts with a heavier weight than you did last time, then you might want to hold it off another day. Again, as long as you get it in 3 days a week on non-consecutive days, you'll be okay. So if you need to hold it over a day and do it the next one, put it off a day. So just base it up on how you feel. There's no need to be extremely dogmatic with this. You can base that on how you're feeling that day in making that determination. And if you feel recovered enough and good and energetic enough and you're well fed from the night before, I think the 44 hours might be okay. So go ahead and give it a try. All right, next question. Regarding your intermediate program, oh gosh, I do have an intermediate program out now. That intermediate program number 1. What to do if I can't do 3 sets of 10 reps with 70% of wide 1 rep max without resting for at least 5 minutes between each set? Well, my friend, I think you may have miscalculated your 1 rep max if you can't do it with 3 minutes. Usually 3 minutes is what I would tell people when you're working in that type of rep range. You should be able to hit all the sets of 10 with 3 minutes. You might want to go back and ask yourself, did you accurately calculate your 1 rep max, or did you maybe overshoot it a little bit? So it might be time for you to step back away from the routine on day 1, reevaluate what your maxes really are. So if you haven't done a powerlifting meet, you really need to come in and do a proper training max and do not calculate them off of an 8 rep set. You come in and you build up to a 3 or 4 rep set and you use those to calculate your max off of a calculator. Don't use an 8 rep set or a 10 rep set and then calculate it and then come back and find out that you overshot it by 10 or 15 kilos. So that's probably your problem there. Now, that being said, on this program, because I want you to get all these sets and reps, if you have to, especially on those weeks where you're building up to like the 5 sets on some of this stuff, if you need 4 or 5 minutes instead of 3 to make the reps, then you do whatever it takes to make those reps. You're not supposed to be missing reps on a system like this. This is calculated to where you're not supposed to. You should be progressing okay without quite missing a rep on like weeks 3 or 6. You should be getting real close. All right, next question and final question of the week. Can you progress by hitting training maxes every session on a 3-day week full body routine on the big 3? Yes, you can. You can. In fact, you guys saw me going into my thing hitting training maxes, and I will be building up to training maxes before long every day again. Once I get used to doing all the volume. I'm doing maxes for volume that are just below training maxes right now. I'm going to be ramping up volume on singles, but it can be done. The only thing is, if you're only doing them 3 days a week, a lot of the times for people who are doing high frequency training maxes, they're usually doing them up to every day, particularly on things like the squat. But you can do it on this, but I wouldn't stop with just a training max. I would do at least 1 back off set of 2 or 3 reps on each of those lifts if you're going to come in and only train 3 days a week on a system like this. So you'd probably ramp to a training max, back the weight down 10%, and do a double or a triple at least, maybe even do a couple of back off sets if you're going to take that type of system, because you're not on an ultra high frequency. You're getting 4 days off. But it's certainly doable, and even if you don't take my advice and add the extra volume, you could probably still progress. It just might not be quite as fast because you're not getting quite enough total workload and volume. But it's certainly doable. Alright guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh, Mount Bicephalus. Bag push, you give him a Mount Bicephalus too. Oh.